By dawn, a thick envelope was taped to my door, demanding $250 for leaving my trash cans visible for too long. My heart pounded with rage as I read her words, dripping with arrogance. She thought she could bully me, humiliate me, and drain my wallet under the cover of HOA rules. And maybe, for most people, it would have worked. But what Karen didn't know what she couldn't even imagine was that she had just declared war on the one homeowner she could never defeat. The real twist was about to surface. Before moving here, I had built everything from scratch, working double shifts, saving every dollar, dreaming of a safe home for my family. This house wasn't just wood and nails. It was the legacy I wanted my children to inherit. We planted flowers together, painted the walls as a family, and etched our memories into every corner. But behind the manicured lawns and cookie-cutter smiles of the neighborhood, power games thrived. The HOA wasn't about community standards, it was about control. And Karen, with her smug grin and clipboard, was its loudest enforcer. That $250 fine wasn't just money, it was a threat, a declaration that I was at her mercy. I clenched the letter, knowing this fight wasn't just about trash cans. It was about my dignity, my family, my home. That morning, the HOA made their first bold move, threatening foreclosure if I didn't comply. The harassment came in waves. Bright red notices plastered my front door for neighbors to see, their sticky residue leaving angry scars on the wood. The sickly sweet smell of bleach one morning revealed my garden flowers destroyed, their roots rotting from sabotage. Late at night, Karen's shrill voice echoed across the cul-de-sac as she spread rumors, claiming I was a troublemaker, unfit for the neighborhood. Strangers glanced at me differently, whispers following me to the mailbox, fines piled up for imaginary violations, a lawn chair out of code, a hose not properly stored. Every detail of my property became her weapon. The humiliation burned deeper than the money. It was warred by 1,000 cuts, and though I stayed silent on the surface, my mind sharpened like steel. Because while Karen thought she was burying me, I was gathering something far more dangerous. What Karen never realized was that before I became a homeowner, I had served years in City Hall. I knew the codes, the laws, the loopholes she pretended to wield. Morit and Tate still had powerful connections, people she would never dream I could call on. Quietly, I began assembling evidence. Photographs, recordings, timestamps. Neighbors, once skeptical, started whispering to me about their own fines, their own harassment. One brave family slipped a folder into my mailbox, filled with years of HOA misconduct. I built my case brick by brick, a fortress of truth she couldn't topple. Soon, word reached an Olalita city mayor himself. Interest sparked, first among neighbors, then local reporters circling for a story. Kara still smirked, still scribbled on her clipboard, but beneath the surface, her empire of intimidation was cracking. The stage was set for a confrontation she couldn't escape. The HOA's boldest strike came on a humid evening. They staged a secret meeting in the clubhouse, declaring my property in violation and plotting to seize it. By morning, spray-painted slurs smeared across my garage door, the stench of fresh paint stinging my nose. They thought I would cower. Instead, I arrived at the next board gathering with the mayor at my side. Cameras flashed as I laid out the evidence. Illegal fees, harassment, forged signatures, funds misused. Each page landed like a hammer. Gasps filled the room as the mayor's voice cut through the air, promising a full investigation. Karen's face drained of color, her pen trembling in her hand. The HOA board tried to shout me down, but the truth had already escaped their control. The fight was no longer mine. Alone it was public, undeniable, unstoppable. The collapse was swift and merciless. Within weeks, the HOA's finances were frozen, board members facing lawsuits, and Karen herself escorted from her porch in handcuffs for fraud. Neighbors, once silent, cheered as the tyranny crumbled. My property, once under threat, now became a symbol of victory. Families repainted fences, children played freely, and laughter returned to streets once ruled by fear. With the mayor's help, we founded a neighborhood charity, turning fines into scholarships, cruelty into kindness. On the final evening of summer, I stood on my porch as the sunset bathed the houses in gold. The air, rich with barbecues and fresh-cut grass. My children laughed in the yard, their joy unbroken. Karen was gone, her reign ended, her arrogance crushed by justice. And tell me, what would you do if a Karen tried this on you? Subscribe for more HOA justice stories.